fast, so light, with all that downforce and that big right rear tire. Typically, the gap between those two divisions on a track that hooked up is bigger than what we saw. But watching Darren Koffel on the exit, I don't care if it was turn 2 or turn 4, I mean, there wasn't anybody there, sprint car-wise or otherwise, that had the forward drive on the exit that 46 car Darren Koffel had. I talked with Darren after in Victory Lane. I talked to them and I said, so, from the heat race to the main, what changes did you make? He looked at me and said, we made a couple really small changes. He goes, but one of the small changes, Ryan Nelson says, let me tell you, that track was the best I've seen in the past 2 seasons. Hey, we haven't been here that long, Ryan, but I'll tell you, it's the best I've seen that track. I mean, as far as speed-wise, entertainment-wise for fans, track was good. Track was good. There was a cushion to work for the drivers to work with. We saw some awesome racing, and we saw some crazy stuff happen too. It was, nobody got hurt, but it was crazy stuff that actually ended up being entertaining for the fans. And in fact, Nina caught one of those moments on through her lens.
Oh, that was wonderful. Most people get freaked out. I was all excited, yes, it's right in front of me.
It was a scary moment, but everything worked out.
And I was right over the top.
Yeah.
But I gotta admit, after I got over the top and started looking down, he never got out of the car.
No.
Right, and he's on the driver's side.
Yeah, we're talking about the number 11 up on its side.
Dylan Irving.
And it's like he's in there. He's still driving. He's waiting for him to throw it over sideways.
They set that because the car went off turn 3, rolled up on the driver's door, standing on its lane on its side. All 4 tires are up, facing the crowd. Safety team comes along. What do? Ease the car down on the wheels and tires. Dylan fires the car back up, jumps back in the race, and finished it.
Yep.
I mean, how cool was that, right? I mean, we saw a little bit of everything Saturday night, but and we'll go through a lot of that here on the show. But that racetrack itself was
super duper
impressive. I mean, well, if you just want to talk late models, I mean, I know people say, "Oh, that's all Corey talks about is late models." Maybe.
Corey, all you talk about is late models.
Well, I love late models. I love all racing. Don't get me wrong. I love
too.
all racing, but I love the racing late models create. The bumper, the side-by-side, the 3-wide. You can't do that with sprint cars. If you do it, you got to be very, very careful. A little bit of contact in a sprint car can be a really big thing.
Tire to tire is horrific.
Right. And now the speed and the racing we see because of the way Southern Oregon Speedway is constructed and the layout of the track and the banking and the surface, fantastic sprint car racing. And we saw some awesome sprint cars Saturday night. These guys get that big right rear tire up on that cushion. Whew, Nelly, hang on. That is speed. I mean, that is speed. I mean, Gary, you're down there trackside. You're standing there on the entry of turn 3 watching this. I'm thinking to myself, man, there's times I get concerned. I get concerned because of where you stand in your location over what you do.
Well, he got
I'm a little more.
he got whopped by a rock.
Yeah, I got pelted.
Yeah.
Where at?
Right on the neck, right
On the
behind
neck.
the ear. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. You were a little woozy.
Actually, I think it was girlfriend Hickey who put
It might have been.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But no, he said he had a headache afterwards. So it must have hit him pretty hard. But we was looking number 48. We was down at the sprint car number 48.
Enrique Jaime.
Yeah. We was looking at his front wing on the front, the spoiler on the front. That thing had some gouges in it. Looked like somebody had shot it with a rifle. So you can imagine those rocks coming off there,
Well, that clay that's not light. That is some heavy dirt. That clay is, you get hit with one of those and you're going to know it. You're going to know it. There's no doubt. Especially when it had that kind of moisture in it. You get up on that cushion and hurl one off the track and get hit in the head. You're going to feel it. You're lucky you just got hit in the head.
Maybe I ought to let him wear my hard hat. I've got a yellow hard hat.
No hard
Oh,
hats.
come on now.
Come on.
Gary?
It ain't being a race fan unless you're getting pelted by rocks
Yeah.
and dirt.
Dirt.
Gary stands there on the turn 3 and he's flexing his muscles saying, "Hit me, give me what you got, boys." I mean, he's like, who's the Adams Hatter playing the hockey player?
Yeah.
Remember that? What is that? When he's standing there and he's got the baseball machine's hitting him and he's like, "Grrr!" It's Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that was.
I do puff up.
Gary
a little
Gilmore.
bit. Great.
It's his He-Man pose.
Well, he is pretty BA. He's about as close to Steve Austin as you're going to get.
That's funny.
No.
Yeah.
Look at him strutting already. See?
Look
at his head blow
puffed up like a
Yeah.
rooster. Yep.
Been a little taller.
We need a live camera. Put it on him. Let him
You know,
watch
I
him
started
puff.
taking lots of pictures of him that night. 'cause
Well,
he's
we know
funny.
why you're taking pictures of him.
Listen.
Truth is coming out.
Oh, that was a bad joke. I'm sorry. I know. Let's keep it professional. I'm already off my game tonight, but I want to go through the divisions. Hold on a second here. Let me grab my notes up. If any of you guys was there any highlights you guys that really stuck out to you?
Just the wreck that happened.
Yeah,
2
that was
feet
pretty
away
wild.
From me.
That was definitely pretty
Well, I'll
wild.
tell you, I had some pretty weird experiences. I was starting to wonder if anybody's ever going to want to mount cameras on their cars again, because every single car that I had a camera on had some sort of an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Starting with the 42 of Paul Colt.
Yep.
Breaking an axle.
Mm-hmm.
Which was a shame because he was actually the 42 car was quick.
Yeah.
I mean, Paul was moving. I'll tell you what I thought was in that feature the biggest heartbreaker. Talking about just driver perspective, was the 28G of Randy Schaefer. He was running second to Darren Koffel, broke out of traffic, and they were separating themselves from the field, but the gap wasn't getting smaller between Koffel and Schaefer. I mean, it wasn't getting smaller, but the gap between second and the rest of the field was getting bigger as those two cars kind of kept. They were moving.
He was hanging with Koffel.
He was, but he wasn't catching him.
No,
he
just hanging.
Right.
I didn't say catching. I said hanging.
Right. And I thought it was interesting because the track was fast. He broke. I'll have to go look at my notes, but he did break. I wasn't at drive line, but there was some.
The spindle on that car?
No, that was Guglielmoni when he got in the front stretch wall.
Yeah, that's right.
And actually I think he ended up 5th or 6th in the feature. That 22 of Guglielmoni was very fast. I'll tell you somebody else who impressed me, and I've been watching this guy this year when we're talking late models, is the 40 of Dave Everson. He was dialed. And there was the thing about it was Koffel nailed that setup so perfect. I don't care who showed up to Southern Oregon Speedway Saturday night. They weren't beating that 46 car.
Or who didn't show up.
Or who didn't show up.
There you go. I got to put that in there.
Yeah, well, there's the jab.
Ed.
I'm not calling any names.
We don't need to. We don't need to. But I will say it didn't matter. It didn't matter. As fast as that field was. And we had 16 late models sign in. 15 took the green flag because Mark Waggy, heartbreaker again. Wicked fast. He had that Victory Circle car dialed in, the number 1M. He was leading his heat race going into turn 3 on the last lap when Gary was one of the first guys to the scene. Underneath that car, there was some damage. Tell us what you saw there.
Well, and what I heard later, too, from the pit was one of the bolts. They were having some issues with one of the bolts in the rear axle, and that bolt had backed out, and they had lost all their fluid, so it locked up that rear end. Most likely destroyed it. So when I went out to the pit, as they were jacking it up and getting underneath that car and pulling that drive line to see what was going on, they knew right away as soon as they got that drive line loose that rear end's done.
Yeah.
Because they was going to try to get back in the race.
Yeah,
Yes.
They were.
And I was ready to go to every pit and see if anybody had an axle. But the time it would have taken to put that axle in there, and the races were moving so fast, there was no way they could have got that car on the track.
We rolled that show off quick.
Yeah.
That was, again, that was a heartbreaker to see, Mark as fast as he was, unable to start the feature. And he's top. Yeah, he's third in points right now, I believe. Third or fourth. Because I know that Trent Elliott's your points leader. Koffel was second coming in. And I thought he might be fourth because I think Everson in that 40 car, I think Everson actually sits third in points. But at this point, the late model championship is not a gimme. It is not a gimme. I'll tell you, though. I'll tell you who's determined when we're talking points title for this division is Trent Elliott. You want to talk about a dude that worked his tail off Saturday night. That dude where did he start? 6th up to 2nd, crowd, racing, slicing, and Dyson gets shuffled back to like 6th again and picked his way back up. I mean, he was fighting an ill-handling race car. It was a little loose on the exit, and
to me, it was pushing a little bit in 1 and 2.
Well, it might have been. Maybe that's why he was so loose coming off. But he found the top side of the racetrack, and once he found the top side, Trent Elliott woke up. Trent Elliott come to life, and he found some traction on the top. And man, did he get quick there in the second half of that race. After we had a caution on lap 12, and from that point on,
he got better.
Once he broke out of that field, he was moving. Again, I don't think he would have caught Koffel without a. Okay, so Trent Elliott actually started.
He was right on the pole.
Oh, he did start on the pole for that feature with Everson. That's right, because Everson led the first 4 laps in the 40 car. Koffel started 5th. So I knew one of those guys started that, 5th or 6th. And Koffel worked his way up. I was announcing. 40. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was actually a really, really good man. We saw, one of the guys coming from California got into a tangle on the front stretch, tore the car up, broke some left front suspension. The header was laying on the.
I got some good videos of that too.
Yeah, we'll get some of that stuff put up. But late models Saturday night, because there were so many of them, were the show. And the 16 of those guys on that track laying it down, we saw 3 and 4 wide again. That'll tell you how good that track was. When you go 4 wide for position, that's what fans come to see. Dave, that's what when you're catching that stuff on the camera. I got to tell you, I'm going to compliment you on the air. I've been watching the videos here at home, and while we're editing them and getting them ready to post. Fantastic job.
Well, thank you. I'm learning.
Well, you're doing a great job. I'll tell you, and I got to give him credit because he'd been telling me, Corey, I need a new tripod. I need a new tripod. This isn't working. It's I can't do this without. And I said, okay, well, we get to look in, and we found a really, really good high-end tripod. And since we got that tripod, Dave's video has been on point. Transition, smooth, focus in and out. I know you got some awesome stuff for the late models. We had some in-car camera. I think this week's late model video is going to be.
It'll be good.
It's going to be pretty good. Just the stuff that we captured.
I have to apologize because this week, since Sunday, not only do I do with and associate with Moxie and hang around with these guys and have a great time, I'm retired, yeah.
You're retired and you're working harder than you ever have.
I'm working harder than I ever did.
Building sheds and working on your property and making custom barn doors for people's closets. I mean, these things are phenomenal. Have you guys seen these doors he's building? Absolutely beautiful.
I love barn doors.
The sliders. These things. If you guys want a custom barn door for your home, get a hold of Ed. I'm telling you, you won't regret it.
Uh-oh.
He's going great.
These things are the biggest I've ever built.
They're huge.
They're 4 foot, ½ inch wide,
mm-hmm.
82.5 inches tall. I can't handle them by myself.
Yeah, they're big doors.
Wow. I want to see them.
I'm excited to see the video, and I think are we going to edit that?
The late model video?
Yeah,
or the video of me making my doors? Which one? No.
When do you want to do that? When do you want to get together?
Probably Friday.
Friday. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Are you okay for Friday?
I will make it work. I'm going up
because Lori goes shopping on Fridays.
Well, I'm going to OHSU Friday for surgery on both shoulders again.
I thought that was Thursday.
No, it's Friday, the 12th.
Well, we can't do that Friday.
Yeah, we can. We can.
Oh, he's fine.
I'll tough it out.
It's not a big deal.
Oh, geez.
It's just an outpatient surgery. It takes 15 minutes.
Yeah. You're just going to go in and swab him with a little alcohol and give him a shot,
Boy, I wish that's all it was. If you've ever had laser surgery, you know how fun it really isn't.
Lazy surgery.
Yes, that's what's wrong with him.
That's what's wrong with him. He's going to have lazy
just lay
surgery
there when they do the cutting.
It's no fun. It's no fun. Back to the late models.
But yeah, we'll get that video out this week.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I may work on it tomorrow. So.
Okay, well, we'll get together and make it happen. Whatever. I still got some stuff in here I got to work on too.
Oh, just so everybody knows, so he doesn't have an excuse. Corey now has the video editor on his computer.
Oh,
yeah.
Thanks, Ed.
Yeah. All right.
So not only Ed has the video editor,
So does
Corey has the video editor. But I haven't seen a video